and welcome to the kitchen at Westminster. It's time for saving time. This week's feature is brought by the good sales at Zehrs this week. Sales are in effect until Wednesday of next week, so make sure you get there. Pork tenderloin, $3.99 a pound. It's lovely. So I've got about 2 pounds here, so $8. Sweet potatoes, $1.79 a pound. Great deal. I picked up 2 pounds. Asparagus, I think it was right around $4 a pound. I've got about a half pound here. And these tiny little bottles of orange juice, which we're going to use as part of our marinade for the pork, is just $1 a bottle. You might already have some orange juice in your fridge. You only need 3 tablespoons, so good chance you've already got enough for that. And then we're going to be ready to go. We're going to do a roasted pork tenderloin with sweet potatoes, asparagus. Everything's going to go into the oven, a little bit staggered, all comes out at the same time. We're going to be ready to eat in an hour. Okay, here we go. We're going to start with the pork. I've given it a rinse and a pat dry to start, and that's all you really need to do. And the pat dry, just use a piece of paper towel. You don't need to do anything fancy. To start, we're going to season our pork. We're going to rub it with a little bit of oil. I've got salt, pepper, thyme, paprika, and garlic powder for our seasonings, and a little bit of olive oil. Vegetable oil's perfectly fine, as always. To put the oil on the meat, just give it a little bit of drizzle. We're looking for about a tablespoon. Quite often the pork tenderloin is going to come in 2 pieces in a package. That's pretty standard. So just divide it out, but think about a tablespoon. And then just use your fingers. You're just going to make sure that you've got a little bit of oil all the way around. Nothing big deal here. If you've got a little silicone brush or something that you prefer to use, go for it. Won't matter what you do. Then, a little hand wipe, that's what my apron's for, right? And then we'll start. So just I want to put all of our seasonings onto the plate. So go about a teaspoon of each. And about a teaspoon. This is a 1 tablespoon measure, so 3 teaspoons to a tablespoon. We'll do salt and pepper. And then we want to do about a teaspoon of garlic powder on there. And about a teaspoon of paprika. If you don't have paprika, feel free to switch it out for a little bit of chili powder. It would work much the same way. You just want something with a little bit of savory heat. And then go about 2 teaspoons of thyme. And there you go. Just like that. That's all we're doing with those. Seal them all up. We'll put them away later. Easy, easy. Next thing we're going to do is pierce our meat. Okay, so you're just going to take a fork and just pierce it all over. And what you're doing is you're making openings for your seasonings to get into and later our orange juice to get into. So you're just giving it a good poke, flip it over, do the other side too. In as many places as you can. There's no rhyme or reason to it. You're just poking it. You're thinking about how you want the juice and seasoning to get in there. So just keep, and then do the other piece the same thing. I've just got a normal dinner fork here. You're not going to need a great big fancy thing. And if you hit a little bit of a fatty section, just poke around it. This is just opening it up. And there we go, good enough. Now, I have a casserole pan ready and lined with parchment paper. And that's all you want to do. You've got all these nice seasonings on your plate. Give them a little mix just with your fingers, it works. Now see how that's all on there like that? We're going to pick up our piece of meat and just like this. For years I struggled trying to shake a little bit on top and then I'd flip it and shake it. This is the way to go. Look at the nice coverage we're getting. And just like that. Just like that. Isn't that easy? Isn't that and it's a plate, who cares? I'd rather wash the plate than struggle with a shaker or a spoon over the pork and trying to flip it. Do this with any piece of meat, like if you're doing a roast beef, piece of fish, seasonings on a plate, and then roll it around. And then just into your casserole. And now the same thing with the other one. We're just gonna scoot it around in here and get it coated. And if you think this one doesn't look like it has as much as the other one, live with it or add a little bit more to your plate. It's either way. Either way. And now you can see, isn't that easy? I love that method. I don't remember where I learned it or who from, but I've never turned back. For the sake of a plate, it's just that much easier. And into the pan it goes. Now I'm just gonna go and rinse my hands quickly, and then we'll put our orange juice next. I've got some water in the sink over here. So in I go, and that's that. And quick little dry. And there we go. I should have had something ready. And now, all you're gonna do is your orange juice. The acid in a citrus, like a citrus acid, goes well with pork and it penetrates it nicely. So here we want to do about 3 tablespoons. Now you don't need to be too over the top concerned about being exact, and then just drizzle it over. So there's 1, and we'll go 2. Easy, easy, right? I don't know about you, but I am definitely right-handed. I can't do anything with my left hand. So even something like drizzling, we'd have it everywhere. And last one. And you're just drizzling it over. And again, the parchment paper is not necessary, but it sure saves a lot of time when we go to clean up later. Now our pork is ready for the oven. I've already preheated to 425. And you're going to set your pork just like this into the oven, no cover, no anything. And there we go. And here we go. That was really easy. You know what? It's getting better every time I use it. And into the oven it goes. Right like that, and close it up. And now set the timer for 10 minutes because we're going to start our potatoes and we want them in there 10 minutes behind. We're just going to get all of this out of the way. We can clean it up later when everything's in the oven. We don't need to be worried about cleaning up now. Clear that off. Orange juice, that's not the orange juice lid. And this one. And there we go. Now, sweet potatoes. We're going to get a bowl for our compost and a peeler. We're going to need a cutting board. And I'm looking at the time 5:32, so 5:42 is our aim. I've got these sweet potatoes right here. Just peeling them. And these are nice. These are really nice. I love sweet potatoes. Can't get enough of them. They're excellent. A long, long time ago, I had the pleasure of having a wonderful sweet potato casserole, which I won't be able to do on saving time because it takes more than an hour to get it ready, but it involves pecans and brown sugar, and honestly, it's practically a dessert. It's absolutely wonderful. We'll talk about it under some other pretense, not saving time. We want these meals to be on the table in an hour so that nobody feels like they've spent all their time in the kitchen. And number 2. Now the sweet potatoes, once we get them organized here and peeled, I'm going to cut them into 1-inch pieces, just cubes, and a little bit of oil, a little bit of salt, pepper, and we're going to put them onto a sheet pan. And later we'll add the asparagus to the same sheet pan. And again, you know what, you could separate them all, but then you've got more dishes to wash. If you can fit them onto one pan, why not? I love asparagus. It won't be long until it's Ontario asparagus, and isn't that a nice thought? It's really not going to be long at all. Asparagus is among the first things that grow in Ontario, so lucky us. It'll be coming. There's 2 done. I'm making a bit of a mess, I'm sorry. And 3. Now this was 2 pounds. Obviously, it's not the number, it's how much you think everybody's going to need to eat. And as always, adjust the quantities according to how many people you're feeding. That pack of pork tenderloin, the 2 pieces, if you're just a couple of people, you know what, that was bought fresh, so there's no reason why you can't separate them and freeze one for some other meal. If you buy them frozen, then you have to use them both at the same time, but by buying it fresh, you could just freeze one and have it some other time. So it might seem like too much. Of course, it makes a lovely sandwich later in the week, doesn't it? And then you've got lunch out of all of this too. I don't really know if I said or not, but all of this is another $15 meal. How can you go wrong? I just, honestly, I think about what they charge in fast food restaurants and what we're going to serve up again this week, and for the same amount of money. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. These sales are brilliant. And as you see, every week we're finding, I'm not doing any magic tricks. It's just looking at the flyers and saying, what can we cook? What can we cook this week? We'll set that to the side. And we're gonna put these straight onto the sheet pan. And again, I've covered my sheet pan with some parchment just for cleanup. Not necessary. It's just a preference of mine. I don't love dishes. I love food, I don't love dishes. That little piece came off, so we'll get rid of it. I want 1-inch pieces, so I'm gonna cut it into 4 long wides, just like that. And then just do this. Look how fast this is going. This is going like lightning. And I hope a lot of you tried the chicken last week. It was delicious by all accounts. So I hope that you did. And if not, we'll revisit chicken in the future, I'm sure. And there, whoops. Did you see what I did? I threw to the wrong bowl. Whoopsie. Okay, there we go. I sorted it out. That's all that matters. It was an excellent save. And there. And the end's a little tapered, so I'm going to cut it off center so I don't get a piece that's way thinner than the others. Just like that. We're just eyeballing here. And as always, the goal is that all the pieces are about the same size. And that's all, so I'm going to do it this way. So that's noisy, I'm sorry. I'm going to do this. This was an odd shaped potato. And there we go. And look, once again, look at all the garbage that we've got now. The meat was wrapped in plastic. That's not a big deal. The big picture of things. And there we go. And I don't know who in your house is going to get to drink the leftover orange juice if you bought one special for this. It's going to go in somebody's breakfast, no doubt. And there, and there. And just like that, cutting them nice and even. That one's bigger. And there, look at this. We're just about done. We are so close to done. That was close to my finger. Who else saw that? And there we go. I won't have any emergencies, I promise. They take too much time. I don't know who it was. Somebody used to say, I don't have time to take anyone to the hospital. Fair enough. You'd better be careful. Okay, so I'm going to keep the sweet potatoes to one end of the pan because I do want to add our asparagus. So I'm just going to keep them just, you know, yeah, I don't want to crowd them. I'm just looking at how much asparagus I have. I can easily fit it just like that. And it's not to say that you can't push it around later, but yeah, why not? Why not keep it tidy? As before, oil, and just think about a tablespoon. I think on here I marked 3 tablespoons. We're basically thinking 1 tablespoon for the pork, 1 for the potatoes, and then we're going to use another one on the asparagus. And just drizzling, just like that. Okay, and there, set that to the side. And then we want just a little salt and pepper on this. So just a pinch or a shake. You probably have a shaker at home. Just sprinkle it around. You just want to make sure they look like they've all got a little. And then your salt, same thing. You're just going to grab a little pinch and across everything, just like that. They're going to be ready. We've got 2 minutes to spare on getting these into the oven. How about that? Look at us go. We're just going to have this dinner on the table before we know it. I'm just going to move these over here just for a second. We're going to watch the clock so we pay attention for our 2-minute mark. And this is going to go there. Just getting rid of it. And we can start getting our asparagus ready now. Super easy. So that needs a wash eventually. I love asparagus. Best thing ever. So versatile. For years I cooked it in a pot on the stove, and then I discovered roasting it. And you know what? Just like the beans last week, you can't go wrong. You put it in the oven, you roast it, you're never gonna get those terrible limp. This is beautiful asparagus. You boil it, the next thing you know, it looks like a wet noodle, which is not good. So for asparagus, if you get it in your hands, it'll just break off. You're gonna find the spot and you're getting rid of your woody end, and you just pop. Just get a hold of it. It'll break where it's meant to. I don't know what that means exactly, but it just will. It'll break where it's meant to. See, that's not breaking. See what I mean? And that does. It breaks where it's meant to. I don't know how else to explain. You're gonna know. You're gonna have it in your hands. You're gonna feel it, just like that. If you're struggling with it, it's not where it's meant to be broken. There you go, just like that. Just like that. And now I see my time is time to set my pan in. So we're not gonna laugh at me. I'm just gonna, oh, see, that was so easy. It just needed to be worked in. You know, before I started this oven had only been used twice. It's just brand new. That's why it's still so gorgeous clean in here too. And in they go. And just like that. Now we're gonna pay attention for 15 minutes. So it is 22 minutes to, so what do we have to do? Like 3 minutes to 15 minutes, okay? We're just gonna pay attention. We'll keep getting this ready in the meantime. And another little snap, snap. You're just finding that sweet spot. You get a hold of it, see, that's not there. See what I mean? See, that's not gonna snap. Right there, it snapped. You're gonna find it, okay? Trust me on this one. I know it sounds like I'm talking nonsense, but it's true. It really does work that way. And, oh, this one's just a little one, and he's getting littler. Okay, that's it for the asparagus. Now what I wanna do, we're just gonna get it ready so that we can dump it on that sheet pan when we're ready in 15. So lay your asparagus in here. I gave it a rinse earlier. I'm sorry, I should have said that. And a little bit of a drizzle. Again, you're thinking maximum a tablespoon, just a little bit. And some salt and pepper, just like that. And now the pepper. And again, if you have a shaker, I always think like that with the shake. And a little bit of pepper. And for our asparagus, it's nice with a little bit of Parmesan. This is completely optional. I like Parmesan on asparagus. It's not a requirement by any stretch. Think about 3 tablespoons. You just want it to get, it just gives it gets all brown and beautiful in color, and then it looks so nice on the plate, right? How can you go wrong? You want food to look good on the plate because it makes people hungry and glad to come to the table. And that's the point, isn't it? We're just trying to make people happy with food. Who wants to cook and then have everybody, The whole point is to make people happy. So in life there's feeders, and I'm definitely a feeder, but it's nice, it makes me happy. So there you go. So the asparagus will be ready in 15 minutes. We're gonna add it to the oven. I'm gonna pause right now. I'm gonna clean up a little bit. I'll see you in, well, now about 12 minutes. We're gonna add this, give the sweet potatoes a push around, and then we're gonna be good for another 20. Look at us. We can clean up the kitchen and set the table. I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, we've been 15 minutes. So says everything. And we're just gonna open it up. I'm getting the sweet potatoes out. And if you're comfortable with it, you could just reach in there and do it. So we're just gonna push our sweet potatoes around a bit. Look how nice they're coming up. And we're just giving them a push. And you don't have to flip, but you're just making sure, we're looking to get them to brown up evenly. So there they are, just like that. Doesn't that look nice? And pluck that back in space. And there we go. And now, the asparagus that we got ready before, just spread it out on the pan. We've got some good stuff in there, so we'll get it out. And spread it on there. And then just watch your fingers on the pan, but spread out your asparagus so that it's got room to cook around each piece, just like that. And now the whole thing, we're gonna put it back in the oven. We're gonna set the timer for 10 minutes. I've got just in front of 6 o'clock right now, 2 minutes before. So 8 minutes past, we're going to be getting our meat out of the oven. Oh, I'm bringing the towel with me, how about that? These stainless steel tables get hot, hot, hot. So I put the towel down to make sure I don't move the heat around. Back into the oven it goes. And we'll seal it up. Well, I'll see you in 10 minutes. Here we are, it's 10 after 6. Whoa, there we go. Now at this point, what we're gonna do is we're just lifting out our pork tenderloins. And, oh my goodness, they look good. So here they are. We're gonna set them there. I'm just gonna close this up. We're gonna pay attention because we want 10 more minutes on our veg. We're gonna have a peek at this. If you like to use a meat thermometer, you wanna be at, Shannon, I've got a fork over there. Could you pass it to me, please? Thank you. You want your meat, if you've got a meat thermometer, up to 160 degrees in the thickest part. So in this piece, that would be right there. I'm not gonna worry, I'm gonna cut in. I want it to be a little bit pink in there. And we're just gonna get a little, look at that, that's perfect. That's beautiful. It's just barely pink. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if we've got much in the way of juices left in there. If we do, we'll throw them around a bit. Just lift it up a little bit. You can see some of the juices accumulating. Spoon them over, or even turn the meat a little. You know what? That's what we're gonna do. It's just easier. So just flip it right over. And use the side of the pan to help you. Just like that. And we're gonna set that to the side. We're gonna let the meat rest for about 10 minutes, which is exactly, conveniently, how much longer our asparagus and sweet potatoes need. Just get a piece of foil. We're tenting, we're not wrapping. So all you wanna do is just fold it over, watch the pan is hot. You're not folding it in really tight. You see how I've left some room at the end? We're just gonna do it like that. 10 minutes we're gonna wait, we're gonna take our vegetables out, we're gonna cut this up, dinner's gonna be ready. If you haven't already set the table, do it now. I'll see you in 10 minutes. I hope you're hungry because dinner is so close. This, we're gonna get it out of our way. Compost bin, it's gonna come back to us as more food. This, I'm just gonna move our roast over to here. We're gonna get our vegetables out of the oven. They're really hot, so it's gonna serve us well to take them out a little bit ahead of eating. Oh, that was too easy. And this looks beautiful. And here we are. See how the Parmesan cheese browns up on the asparagus? It's beautiful. And that is off, and we can shut the whole business off. Now, our roast. Let's start with that. That's all perfectly fine right there. These are beautiful roast. And I'm gonna slice a couple of pieces off to show you how nice it is, and you can imagine the rest. And there we go. Look at this. This looks nice, right? All those nice seasonings we put on there. Isn't that nice color? So we'll just, and the nice thing about tenderloins, they cut into these beautiful little medallions, and they look nice. No matter how you serve them, they look nice because they're nice, tidy little shapes. I usually cut them, I guess that's about maybe 1/3 of an inch. It's a little bit more than 1/4, I think. Yeah, we could do my finger test. No, it's about 1/4. And there, and we've got 2 of these. Isn't this lovely? And we can do that. And that. That's about half of one of them. And we're gonna lift the other one out right now so you can see. Look at how nice this looks. Just like that. And there we go. Now I'm going to show you how nice this is gonna look on a plate. This is easily tonight enough food for 4 people. And we're just gonna plate it like that. And there you go, just like that. And that little piece there too. Now, let's put some veggies on there. Isn't this looking good? So we can see I've used about half of one of them. We'll come over here. We're gonna get a scoop of potatoes, just like that. And a few more, just like that. And some of this nice asparagus, just like that. And just like that. And look at that. So here we are, another beautiful meal. I'm tempted, as always, to put a little bit of ranch dressing maybe with your sweet potatoes and asparagus, a little bit of sour cream, anything you like that is a nice accent. Even if you stir a little bit of mustard into some mayo, makes a nice dip. We've got enough food here for 4 people. We haven't even been going for an hour yet. I think we're just shy of an hour, and we've cooked the whole thing from start to finish. You're ready to put it on the table. $15. Look at this beautiful meal. $15, barely an hour, 4 people easily. Once again, quit letting food eat up all your time and money. In the meantime, I'm going to plate this up. We're going to deliver it to a family here in Orangeville. They're going to enjoy a wonderful dinner, and so are you. Bon appetit.